Bentley, did you know Bentley having a spot on Cleveland on Oak Drive?
Yes.
And where on Oak Drive was that?
I don't know. I just know it's on Oak
How often, if at all, did you go there?
every day.
How cool were you with Bentley in August of 2015?
Not at all.
So why did you go to his spot every day?
Cause it wasn't necessarily a spot. Everybody just be on his street.
I'm sorry, what?
It wasn't necessarily his spot. Everybody just be on a certain street.
Okay, so you did not go to his spot on Oak Drive every day?
I ain't go like everybody should be outside.
Okay. Who is everybody?
The whole Mr. Cleveland Avenue.
Were there any people who weren't YSL out there?
I don't know who YSL that was out there.
You didn't see any people who were YSL who were out there?
No.
Do you know whether Duop was YSL?
Who is Doo-Wop? You gotta show me a picture. You said you're gonna show me a picture.
Do you know whether Yak is YSL?
Yeah, I think he signed to him.
Do you know whether Shannon is YSL?
I never told y'all Shannon YSL.
I said, do you know whether he is?
No.
He is or is not?
He's not.
So, have you ever heard Shannon claim YSL?
No.
So, do you have to be signed to YSL to be YSL?
You gotta ask them that.
I'm asking you.
I don't know. I'm not YSL.
Then why do you call yourself YSL Lil D?
I told you I was just really selling clothes and stuff. Like I just wanted to be. I don't know. I just wanted shoes. I changed my name. That. Yes, I was a groupie. I was a fan. Yes.
Were you a fan in 2009?
Yes.
What was he doing that made you a fan?
He was rapping. He was rapping.
Was he famous?
No.
Okay. Now, you're here in an orange jumpsuit. Why are you in an orange jumpsuit? Because the jury doesn't know.
Because you locked me up.
And why?
I don't know.
Were you subpoenaed to come to court?
I was subpoenaed. Then y'all told me I was on another subpoena up on the old judge. Y'all wanted me to voluntarily take a subpoena. What I'm gonna voluntarily take a subpoena for?
Did you tell your father to tell us you weren't gonna come?
My father, he grown man. He tell you what he want to tell you. I ain't telling that.
Were you with him when he said you weren't gonna come?
No.
Do you know whether he offered to call anybody?
You want to get my dad up here?
I want to talk to you.
Okay. I know you want to get him up here.
Why?
You know why.
Why?
You know why.
Tell the jury why.
You know why.
So you're not going to tell the jury. Was your father with you when you talked to Gaither and Dennis in August 2015?
No.
Did you live with your father in August 2015?
No.
Who did you live with in August 2015?
Myself.
Did you live with SG at any time?
Yes.
August 2015.
Yes.
Where did you all live?
I don't remember.
You said that you were closest with Moonton, or you were coolest with Moonton. All right. Were you coolest with Moonton in April 2015?
April. Yes.
And were you cooler with Moonton than you were, say, Shannon?
Yes.
Now, in April 2015, were you also cooler with Demetrius?
Yes.
April 28th, 2015. Do you remember being with those people?
Yes.
Where?
Don't we caught our case? We was in the car together.
What kind of car?
I don't remember what kind of car.
What did you have in the car?
A gun.
How many?
So, 2, 3, one on.
And, what time did you all get in the car together? Daytime or nighttime?
Night.
Was it after 10 o'clock at night?
Yes.
Had either you or either one of the people you were in the car with been to Club Crucial earlier?
I think they was.
So how did you end up in the car with them?
Came and got me.
Did you ask them to come and get you?
Yes.
Why did you ask them to come and get you?
Because somebody had shot up my cousin's house
Where did your cousin live?
on County.
All right, and who is your cousin?
Alexis Bryant.
All right. Why did you tell them to come get you if you had your own vehicle?
Because my girlfriend was in mine.
Your girlfriend was in yours?
Yes.
All right.
No, I'm wrong. Because I was going to get in the car with my girlfriend. I was getting dropped off to her.
Okay. And so, did you have guns? in the
Yes.
car? How many guns total were in the car?
I know I had 2.
And did you see any more?
Demikion had 1.
Were you wearing dreads during that time?
No.
Okay. So, where did they pick you up from?
Cleveland Avenue.
Where on Cleveland?
The store, I think.
Which store?
BP.
Was that the same one you were at with that gun?
Yes.
Where you got arrested in May?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you just normally hang out at the BP with guns?
Yes.
So when they came and got you, what did they do?
Yes.
Hey, I'm trying to figure out who we're talking about.
Your Honor, I, first of all, asked him about people, and then I referred to those people specifically.
All right.
So,
Who are those people?
Your Honor, I'd ask Phil not to continue the question. He'll have no problem.
So is it a vagueness objection?
Yes, it's Vegas.
Your Honor, I was specific. I asked him about a specific set of people.
I don't know
and
what.
I specifically referred to them.
Yeah, why
Maybe.
would we want to know
I'm
what we're talking about?
Do you want to re-clarify, please?
I can continue and then I can ask a separate set of questions. Of course, Mr. Sharp has him on cross.
Well, I think we should be clear about what we're talking about right now.
Ask.
Thank you. Go ahead and clarify.
When I asked you about Garlington, Moncton, and Shannon,
You said Garlandton and Moncton.
you didn't hear me say Shannon?
No.
Yes.
That
Let's
they
take a
was to
break. Hang on. Let's just take our mid-afternoon break right now. All right, can you excuse the witness to where? All right, Mr. Sharp.
Your Honor, what just happened was completely dishonest, disingenuous, misleading, and gross.
And
And
you
I
objected.
objected, and I wouldn't have even thought about anyone doing this other than the fact that I've seen the prior behavior throughout this trial of this type of nonsense where we try to trick a witness into think we're saying they, meaning three people, and then try to convince the jury that we're somehow including my client Shannon when it's clear that the witness is not following. That's what we're talking about. And it's disgusting. And I don't know how we cure it, but I'm going to move for a mistrial. I think it was completely intentional. Obviously, it was calculated. Obviously, when I asked for clarification, I would think anyone seeking the truth would gladly clarify. I'm seeking the truth. I would gladly clarify. No, it's sheepish grin and then.
All right, I understand your objection, and I understand what you were saying past that objection. Miss Love, I think
May I
one thing that,
respond?
no, you need to listen. I think that one thing that needs to happen is when an objection is made and you are given an opportunity to respond, and I make a ruling, even if that ruling is, please clarify, that you then need to obey what my order is instead of continuing to argue.
Your Honor, when I ask for clarification and consideration, I believe that as an advocate and as a person who is actually representing the victims who have been victimized in this case and who is representing as much as actually more than an officer of this court, and I represent something, I believe that the state has as much right to express, to request, and to ask for consideration and for an allowance to ask the questions that it wishes to ask as the defense does. I believe, Your Honor, the objection that was made, and I understand what Mr. Sharp said, but there are a couple of things at play here. One, Mr. Sharp is well aware that Mr. Zachary has said that his client was with him. He has said it in the interview that I'm holding in my hand. He is not being honest with the court when he is claiming that Mr. Zachary had no idea what I was talking about. I literally said Shannon, Demikion, and Muktum, and I asked him how close he was with each of them.
Right, and then we went from that to his girlfriend, and then it was not unreasonable, and the objection could just be, vague, but it was not unreasonable to object to make sure that it was clear what the question was, who the they was in the question. And when I say clarify, that needs to be the end of it. And you need to ask a different question, rephrase the question, and let's move on. And there shouldn't be an issue with it.
Yes, Your Honor. If the state is not allowed to ask for clarification or consideration, that I
I
understand.
don't know what you mean by that.
Your Honor, when I
A
asked,
clarification of my ruling, is that what you mean?
when I asked for permission beyond what the court has instructed, I did not know that I should not do that. So I won't do that anymore.
That's not what was going on. You're basically, it seems to say, I'm asking permission to do something other than what the court has just ordered me to do. And so if that's what it is, then no, you cannot do that. If you need clarification of a ruling, then of course you can ask that. And if you want reconsideration, then you can ask for that, but that does not need to go on in front of the jury. When I make a ruling, obey the ruling and move on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, I really haven't heard any explanation for what happened. I think it was calculated. I'm moving for a mistrial. In the alternative, Your Honor, I do believe that there needs to be a curative instruction, or at least it needs to be clarified who they was. It doesn't matter what he said in the past. He lied in the past. I've already said that. I know what he said in the past.
All right.
But what he's
We don't know, you don't know that he lied. You don't know what the truth is and what the lie is if they are inconsistent. And there may even be a reason for that. Although if they're virtually diametrically opposed, there probably is not an explanation. But when you say he lied, We don't know that.
Okay.
Just like Miss Love doesn't know when he lied.
Well, I'll put it like this. Mr. Stillwell was never charged with those crimes. And Miss Love was not asking about what he said in 2015. She was asking about today.
I understand.
And today, he was clearly responding, they meaning Mr. Garlington, and well, it's clear to me. I don't believe it's clear to the
Don't
jury.
talk while he's talking.
And I believe it needs to be clarified immediately because, of course, I will have an opportunity to cross, but I will probably not have an opportunity to cross for about 4 days. And I don't think we should be misleading the jury on direct.
All right, I'm going to look back at what the transcript says. I mean, and Miss Love, you may, given that there's now a motion for mistrial on the floor, in assertion that you did things purposefully, you may respond to that.
I vehemently object to the mistrial. I vehemently object to any mistrial, and I beg the court to look at the transcript and see what I said right before I asked him the people that I just mentioned. And I would ask that the court, I mean, if the court deems it appropriate that such language is gross and all of the disparaging remarks made by counsel for the defendants are appropriate, that's one thing. But I'd ask that the court limit that type of behavior, which is, not becoming of officers of the court.
I agree with that. It is not becoming. All right, y'all can take a break if you want to. I'm going to take a look at this transcript.
Choke, no joke. You know what it is. What's good? What's good? Shout out to my man Tony Piper in the building. CC Crippin, I see you. Champion, what up? All right. Caruso, what up? Lady. Yo, what's up, lady? Got the menace in the building. What's good? Gio. It's a menace to society. Torrance in the building. What up? This love's a hot mess. It would be beautiful to see the mistrial happen today. But we shall see when the break is over.
wants to hear from the court in reference to if he finishes today, will he go home? If he doesn't finish, he wants to know where he's going to go. And I've tried to explain to him, you don't want him to go back to the jail. He can't go to the hospital. And so we
Okay.
talked about it.
Well, if he finishes today, then as long as there's nothing else holding him, which I don't think there is, then yes, he goes home. And
I
if he
told him you couldn't give
doesn't,
it-
yeah,
doesn't
I
finish
can
today.
let him know that. If he doesn't, do y'all have a proposal?
That's what we were trying to work on, and I told Mr. Shaw that I understand that his interest is.
Can y'all hear him? Her? Can you use a mic?
And we talked about it. So she just needs to come up. You know, he wants to go home with the GPS. I understand the court doesn't
Well, I'll
want him
just,
to, and neither does the DA.
all right, I'll tell him that might still be determined.
Okay. And that's what I told him.
Okay. All right, and in terms, I have reviewed what the line of questioning was, and I do not think that there was anything nefarious and purposeful about trying to trick him into something other than what he'd been talking about. At the same time, I can see how it might have been, well, now, are you sure he knows that the people we were just asking about are the people that you're talking about him now, you know, coming to pick him up? So a valid objection, it remains sustained, but the motion for mistrial is denied. I am not giving any kind of instruction. You can just fix it by asking the next question. All right, anything else on that?
Your Honor, just for the record. Okay. I
Okay,
understand
and you
your-
use the mic too.
Yep, I understand. Yes, Your Honor, and I understand the court's ruling. I think that the use, all of a sudden, the use of they and those people instead of names, and then when asked for clarification, the refusal to do so, I think suggests that there was some calculation. But I understand the court's finding, but I would ask the court to instruct Ms. Love to clarify with the first question, so everyone's on the same page, so there's not confusion amongst the jury, who he is referring to when he's talking about they in the car that night.
Yeah,
Okay, yes, go ahead.
actually, Your Honor, I think the court was about to say something more.
I think I was probably gonna say maybe the same thing as you, but I have no idea, so go ahead.
I was going to ask that the court read back the exact question that I'd asked, and right before I said they.
I'll have to find it again.
So that wasn't what the court was going. So.
All right, so after the questioning about where he and his girlfriend lived, you said you were close with, and obviously this isn't the, this is the real time. It's not the official transcript, but you said you were close with Mungtunk or cool with Mungtunk. All right, were you close with Mungtunk in April 2015? Yes. Okay, and were you cooler with Mungtunk than, say, Shannon? Yes. All right. Now, in April 2015, were you also cooler with Garlington? And I can't tell what the rest of that is. Yes. April 28th, 2015. Do you remember being with those people? Yes. All right. And I have to, where? Back, some kind of car. I can't tell exactly. I don't know what kind of car. What'd you have in the car? A gun? How many? 2 or 3? Yes, ma'am. Okay, and what time did y'all get in the car together? Daytime or nighttime? Nighttime. Was it after 10 o'clock? Yes, all right. I mean, at this point, there's nothing that indicates he doesn't think that we're talking about the 3 people that she just asked about. Had either you or either one of the people you were in the car with been at Club Crucial earlier? I think they was. So how'd you end up in the car with them? And then the names don't always get but somebody came to get you. Yes, all right. Why did you ask them to come get you? Because my head shot. And then something about where my cousin lived, camp something or another, Campbellton. Why'd you tell them to come get you if you had your own vehicle? Because my girlfriend was in it, your girlfriend was in yours. Yes, all right. I don't think, because I was going to get the car with the girlfriend, something. Did you have guns in the car? Blah, blah, blah. Were you wearing dreads at that time? No. Okay, so where did they pick you up from? Cleveland Avenue. Where on Cleveland? The store, I think. Which store? Same one you were at with the gun? Do you normally hang out at the store with guns? Yes. All right, and he came and got you. What did they do? Your Honor, I'm going to object. So, I mean, again, valid objection, but also not, not any kind of purposeful, oh, aha. So,
There's a live stream, and I reviewed the live stream. I'll also point out that nowhere in discovery, he says they were at the club, okay? In the
it
testimony.
would have been easier to review the live stream. Yeah.
And Mr. Zachary said they were at the club.
Mhm.
The state is very well aware, as am I, that even in prior statements, it is clear that, and Mr. Sledge's testimony, Mr. Sledge and Demekion Garlington were at the club. Mr. Stillwell is never alleged to be at the club at Club Crucial. So it is very clear that Mr. Zachary is referring to, when he says they, is referring to Mr. Sledge and Mr. Garlington. It is also very clear to me by the fact that Ms. Love repeatedly refuses to clarify that she wants the jury to believe that they also includes Mr. Stillwell, which is not what Mr. Zachary believes at this point.
Okay.
And I'm just going to ask that it be clarified with the first question, and then we can stop using pronouns.
We're
and
not going to
move
stop
forward.
using pronouns. I mean, that's just not how people talk.
Well,
But
it's led to a mess.
she had
right now.
already been instructed to clarify before we took the break, and she's going to clarify. And
Your Honor, I believe that Mr. Zachary already addressed that. The court can listen to the live stream or look at the transcript, but I think that I heard him say, because of Mr. Sharp's, I don't know what it was, but Your Honor,
yeah, he then said, I didn't hear you say Shannon. That's kind of how we left it.
And so, Your Honor, to the extent that there are these dispersions being cast, these, I don't know, attempts for, I don't know.
Yeah, that needs to stop. I mean, you don't know what's in Miss Love's head. You don't know why she's asking a particular question. And, just let's stop making it so personal between attorneys. That's really not appropriate. It's not professional.
Okay, well, Your Honor, I have strong feelings about what just happened, and I will stop saying what you don't want me to say, but I can't help how I feel about it, and that's not going to change. But I've also been accused of, insinuated that I've been conspiring with a man that I've never spoken to in my
Let's-
life repeatedly, and
Let's
so-
everybody stop with the
Well,
personal
yeah.
jabs against each other to the extent anybody has been making them. Okay, all right. We don't need any more of this. Let's just get back on what we're doing that's supposed to be based on facts. Okay, so you understand, if you're going to ask any more about this line of questioning, clarify who it is that you are asking him about.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand that if I'm going to ask him any more about this question, I'll
Okay.
clarify
All
who I'm
right,
talking
thank you.
about.
So we'll get Mr. Zachary out, and I'll let him know that if he finishes today, he can go home. And that I don't quite know where he's going to go otherwise. So let's do that. And yes,
Your Honor, can I just make the court aware and ask for a court's ruling on what you just said about what I believe it was Miss Love asks about Mr. Zachary's father saying something, and she said earlier that it was said to Miss Love by the father that he has spoken with myself and Mr. Short. I'd ask that that not be gone into, not only is it hearsay, but I don't know the evil or the benefit of doing that, because I've done nothing wrong at all, nor did Mr. Short. I'll vouch for him. The second thing is Miss Love brought out from this witness that he purchased 2 or 3 guns from Arrowhead Pawn Shop.
Yeah.
One of those guns is found during the unlawful search of Mr. Williams' home on July 15, 2015. So I know I've done this. I know it's been ordered by the predecessor judge. I know it's been ordered by this court. I don't want to stand up and have to then say a mistrial and get a curative instruction if the mistrial is denied. That has to be just, in my opinion, just stayed away from the fact that that gun was found, or a gun was found in Mr. Williams' home. So
Okay.
I'm doing
May I
it now.
respond to that, please? Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, with respect to the pertinent part, which is the part about the gun being found at Jeffrey Williams' home, and the assertion about the unlawfulness of the search, I won't even go back into that. But Your Honor, as it pertains to who he gave those guns to, I believe that it is a valid question, and I will ask that the court instruct or allow me to speak to Mr. Zachary to tell him, don't say anything about where it's located, but I am going to ask him who he gave or who the guns were given to. The fact that it was found at Jeffrey Williams' home doesn't mean he gave it to Jeffrey Williams. And even if he did give it to Jeffrey Williams' home, that doesn't imply or speak to the search of Jeffrey Williams' home. So the state should not be precluded from putting before the jury the fact that Mr. Zachary purchased guns for other members of YSL, and that he told detectives that he purchased guns for other members of YSL, and which guns he purchased.
Okay.
So
Yeah, all of that should be fair game. Where any gun was ultimately found, if it was found in a search that was suppressed, should not be gone into. And does this witness even know that it was found?
I don't know, but because
anywhere?
this witness can go off, I want to tell him before he gets, back in front of the jury to not, I don't think he does. I have not spoken with him about his knowledge of that search. So I want to instruct him when I ask him, who did he give the other one to answer only that question and not anything about where he thinks it might have been found, because I don't have it in, my head. He hasn't told me where he thinks it might have been found.
It would be really weird if he answers that, if you just say, who'd you give the gun to? But I mean, I
have you
guess
not-
better safe than sorry.
I mean, I'm sorry, but the court has heard testimony that is non-responsive all day.
I believe it's derivative evidence which has been suppressed. And the law enforcement officers after July 15, 2015 are asking Mr. Zachary about the search of Mr. Williams' home where that gun was found in his name. So I don't believe that it's a proper question, because
All right, hang on. He's already testified that he bought several guns from whatever that pawn shop was. So as long as your line of questioning is about that, then that's not derived from law enforcement finding them in the search, is it?
right.
No.
So,
But I
And
believe.
that's why I want to ask and make sure, that's why I'm asking for the court's permission to just tell him, don't mention that.
I wouldn't suggest it to him if he does.
No.
We don't think he already knows it. Just answer the question I ask you.
Judge, yes, he has not answered questions that I've asked him for the last
All
hour
right,
and a half.
I will do that. What else?
The record, Your Honor, before the next question is asked, I believe I may have to renew my motion for a mistrial.
On with the one you just made?
Yes,
Okay.
just for the record.
Oh, okay. Yes, no, that's.
you.
All right, I thought you meant something else just happened. Okay. Yes, you're just preserving it. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's get him out here.
just instruct that when I ask, who did he give the gun to? That is the only,
I'm not agreeing
answer
that he
that
will
is
say
being-
who he gave, excuse me. That's a bad question.
No.
Who did he
Well,
give the guns to?
I mean,
Presumes he gave the gun to
there's
someone.
a lack of foundation at this point to that. So I'm going to be more general in my instruction to him than that. We're ready for him. Oh, can everybody who's operating cameras make sure that you do not, and I think some of you who've been here the whole time know that, but any of the newer people, no pictures, no filming of this area over here, the detention area, okay? That includes still shots. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Zachary, I know from your attorney that you had a couple of questions about sort of what happens next. And as long as we finish your testimony today, the direct and cross and whatever anybody of the attorneys wants to ask you, then yes, you can go home today.
What did I finish that?
If you don't finish, then we haven't quite worked out where you're going, but it will not be you're free to go, have a great life. It will not be Rice Street, but it will also not be bye, have a great life. It'll be something short of that because you will, we'll just need to make sure that
Put me on house arrest. My grandma's funeral. tomorrow.
we'll sort out, your attorney and the state are working on potential conditions right now. So we'll sort that out.
What do you mean conditions?
I don't know what they're going to be. I mean, I may end up needing to impose them, but if they can work something out, then we're going to go with that. All said, when any of these attorneys is asking you a question, I want you to try to listen carefully to what specifically it is they're asking you and then answer just that question, and you can explain it, but try not to just go off on something else entirely, okay? All right. Okay. Are we ready for the jury? Yes, all right. Let's get the jury out.
That's not-
I'll have to tell you later. It has nothing to do. And jurors, thank you all for your patience when we have to take breaks. I appreciate that, as do the attorneys. All right, go ahead, Ms. Love.
Thank you. Mr. Zachary. When, just before we broke on the break, and you told the jury who you are saying today was in the car with you, on April 28th, 2015, who is it that you are saying now was in the car with you?
Me, Garlington, and Sledge.
Okay. You,
and
Garlington,
Sledge.
and Sledge?
Yeah.
Right. Today, is it your testimony that you three were the only people in that car?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you spoke about talking to detectives Gaither and Dennis back in August of 2015. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And before you spoke to them, you said that you had not spoken to them outside the room where you were interviewed, correct?
No.
Okay. No, you hadn't spoken with
No, I
them.
haven't.
Okay. So had either one of them told you or given you any indication that they wanted you to do anything other than give them information that they could confirm or deny?
What you mean by that?
I'll change it. When you talked to detectives Gaither and Dennis, did they ask you about shootings that had happened in the city of Atlanta between January 10th, 2015 and the time that you were talking to them in August?
Yes.
And when you talked to them, did you tell them information about those shootings?
Yes.
All right. Which shootings did you tell them information about?
About April 28th.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And as it related to April 28th, who did you tell them was, first of all, what did you tell them happened on April the 28th?
I don't know. I was just making up stuff as I go.
Okay. Now, is it your testimony today that you just made up everything that you told them about April 28th?
Yes.
And do you know whether, did they confront you with anything after you gave them information about April the 28th?
What you mean confirm me with?
For instance, if you said a light was red and it was green, would they ask you or challenge you?
I had already knew what had been said before. So I
What are
knew
you
what to
talking
say.
about?
You somehow them, the police, I had already knew what was said to them before I even said something to them.
Okay, let's talk about that. What do you mean you already knew what was said before to them?
I had
Your
already
Honor,
knew.
I'm going to object. This is potentially opening the door for hearsay, I believe.
Your Honor,
Potentially.
without saying what someone else said, what do you mean you already knew when? What are you
I
talking
had
about?
already knew that somebody else had already told them about the shooting.
Okay. So how, I'm sorry, let me ask you this. Were you present when someone else told them about a shooting?
No, someone told me.
All right. When did someone tell you?
When they got out of jail.
All right. I'm asking, do you know a month or a year?
I told you 2015.
Okay. And is the person who told you something they told police about the shooting Demekion Garlington?
Yes.
All right. Now, is there a time frame that you believed Demekion Garlington told police these things?
I just know he got out of jail. He told
Don't tell what he said. Just, do you have a time frame?
2015.
Do you know when in 2015 he supposedly told
No.
police certain
I just
things?
know it when he got out of jail.
Okay. Now, did those things that he told police, that you believed he told police, did they involve you?
Yes.
All right. So when you first told police about the April 28th shootings, were there more than one?
Yeah.
How many shootings were there?
I'm like 2, 3.
How many? Tell the jury where you all went after you got picked up.
For clarity's sake, I'm just gonna ask
He's,
you all.
Judge, he's already,
Ask. Go ahead and clarify.
are we talking about the same people you just told the jury was in the car with you that picked you up?
It's like the same people you asked me about.
Okay, and what people are they?
Garlington and Schlid.
Okay, so where is it that you are saying today that you all went after Garlington and Sledge picked you up?
To get my girlfriend car. To get my girlfriend
Okay. To get your girlfriend from what location?
my cousin house,
Where?
Campton.
All right. And did you do anything between the time from leaving where you were on Cleveland Avenue at the BP to your girlfriend's house or to your girlfriend's location on Campbellton?
No.
All right. How long did it take you to get from the BP to Campbellton?
I don't know.
All right. Generally speaking, is it like an hour or more like 15 or 10 minutes?
Like 20 minutes.
Thank you. When you got to Campbellton, did anyone else join you in the car?
No.
Where did you all then go after leaving Campbellton?
To the west side.
Where on the west side?
I don't know them streets.
Whose house were you going to?
Somebody that had shot at my cousin house.
Somebody what?
Who had shot at my cousin house. We going to their house.
And whose house was that?
I don't know.
So how did you determine where you all were going to go?
It wasn't even just, it's like when we get out of Spreadway, we saw that car and we followed the car.
What car did you all follow?
A car that shot at my cousin house.
And describe the car for the jury.
I don't remember the car.
Was it a pickup truck, a regular sedan
I
with
think it was a car.
4 doors, 2 doors?
Yes.
All right. Which one?
4.
All right. And did you believe you knew who was driving the car? Are you thinking?
Yes, I'm thinking.
Okay.
I don't remember who was driving the car.
Okay. At the time, did you know or believe someone in particular was driving the car?
I can't remember.
Okay. So as you sit here today, is the car parked in front of a house when you all see it, or is it
The
driving?
driving.
And what do you all do? Follow it?
Yeah.
How far do you all follow it?
Not that far. About like 3, 4 minutes.
Do you follow it to a house?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Martin Luther King?
Yes.
All right. Are you familiar with where the Atlanta University Center is?
No.
Are you familiar with Morris Brown College?
No.
Spelman, Morehouse, anything like that? Okay. Do you know whether you followed the car to the Martin Luther King area of Atlanta?
I don't remember. I just know it was when we got out Spreadway, like 3, 4 minutes.
What now?
When we got out Spreadway, like 3, 4 minutes.
What exit did you all get off?
MLK.
You did get off at MLK?
Yeah.
All right. And what did you all do after you got off the expressway at MLK?
Followed the car.
Right. And where did you follow it to? I don't need the
house.
address. What happened when the car got to the house?
I started shooting at the car.
All right. Had the occupants of the car gotten out of the car when you started shooting at it?
Yes.
Did you see the occupants get out of the car?
Yes,
All right. And were the occupants standing outside the car, or inside the house when you started shooting at the car?
they were walking towards the house.
Okay. And what kind of house was it? A standalone condo apartment?
It's a house.
Was it a brick house?
I don't remember.
All right. And how many people had gotten out of the car?
Just me and Carlos.
No, I'm asking you, I'm
Oh.
sorry. I should be clear. The car you were shooting at, how many people had gotten out of it?
Like 4, 3, something like that.
Were they all males, all females, or a combination?
Males.
All males? Okay. Now, did you know which of those males or all of those males had supposedly shot at your cousin's house?
I was high. I don't remember. I just know when we pulled up, they were shooting at our house.
Oh, so you saw them shooting?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you what has been admitted as State's Exhibit 6KK. And if you recall, or if it looks familiar to you at all, would you tell the jury? And if not, let the jury know, okay? All right. Does any part of that house in front of the white car look familiar?
I don't remember.
Okay. So what kind of gun did you use to shoot at the car? Did you shoot at the house too?
Shoot, I shot. I just know I shot.
Okay. What kind of gun did you use to shoot?
I don't remember. I just know I had a gun. About
Okay.
3 on.
Did you have all 3 of them in your hands at one time?
Nah.
All right. So how many did you have in your hands while you were shooting?
1, I think.
Was it a long gun or a short gun?
It was the gun I got caught with. It was short.
Okay. Did it shoot short bullets or longer bullets?
Long, but
Long bullets? Okay. Do you have any idea how many shots you fired?
no.
All right. So what made you stop firing?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Did the gun have a banana clip or some kind of long magazine?
I don't remember what kind of clip it had.
And then what did you do after you stopped firing?
Got in the car and pulled off.
What color was the car you were in?
I don't remember.
Okay. And where were the other occupants of the car when you got out and started firing?
Oh, what car?
The car that you were in.
Me and Garson got out. Shalette stayed in.
All right. So did you and Garlington both shoot at the house?
Yes.
All right. Did he have the same kind of gun that you had?
I don't remember. I was high.
Was he shooting, would you all switch guns or did you all have different guns?
Yeah, they own gun.
Okay. Where did you all go after that?
I don't remember.
Did you? What now?
I told you I went in and out of it at night.
Okay. Do you know Darren Mills?
No.
Do you know the name Darren Mills?
No.
Do you know the name Philip Collins?
No.
Do you know the name Philo?
Yes.
All right. How long have you known the name Philo?
Not that long.
When you say not that long, did you know Philo the name Philo in 2015?
Yes.
Did you know the name Philo on April 28, 2015?
Yes.
Did you know whether Philo had a child?
I don't know.
Did you know whether he had a girlfriend?
I don't know.
Did you know where Philo lived?
No.
All right. Now, how would you describe how you felt about Philo? Were you cool with Philo?
No.
Had you had conflicts with Philo?
No.
All right. Describe for the jury Philo best you can. You don't have to be too specific.
I don't remember him.
All right. Do you remember whether he was taller than you or shorter than you?
I don't remember that love.
Okay. How did you know Philo?
I don't remember.
Well, why do you remember Philo?
You talking about how did I know him? I don't remember how I know him. I just remember the name.
What do you remember about Philo to remember the name? Um,
I don't remember. I don't remember exactly how I remember nobody.
okay. Now, when you said that earlier, did you say that you all shot up maybe more than one house, maybe one or two?
We probably think we shot up 2 years.
Was one of them an apartment complex?
Yes.
Now, why did you go shoot up an apartment complex?
Told you. I was in and out of it that night. I was on drugs.
What
I
now?
was in and out of it that night. I was on drugs.
Okay. So what did that have to do with your going to shoot up an apartment complex?
Cause I believe that whoever apartments complex, they shot up my cousin's house.
But I thought you said you followed the people that you saw shooting at your cousin's house to the standalone house that y'all shot
Like 3
up.
or 4 of them in the car.
But I thought you said the car went to a house that you shot up.
They pulled off when we pulled off.
Okay, okay. So
They got back in the car and pulled off.
and did you follow them to another place?
I think we bumped into them some late on that night or something.
Okay. And where did you bump into them later on that night?
I think it was still in the same area.
Okay. Was it the apartment complex or the house?
It
When
was
you say the
apartments.
same?
It was in apartments.
Okay. I'm going to show you 62 CC, which has already been admitted as evidence. And I'm sorry, Lima Lima. 62 Lima Lima LL. And see if you remember or if this area looks familiar to you. Okay. It's already been admitted. So just look at it. All right. And as we're pulling that up, do you remember anything at all about that apartment complex beyond that it was an apartment complex?
No.
Okay. Now, when you say that you told Detectives Gaither and Dennis about that, when you first started talking about it to them, did you tell them that you were involved?
Shoot, I told them I was in the car.
Did you tell them at first that you were in the car?
However it happened, I pleaded guilty to it, so I probably I don't know.
I'm not asking you that.
Are you going to use this exhibit?
Yes, and this is the exhibit 62 Lima Lima that's on the screen. Does that area look familiar to you?
No.
Okay. You can take it down. All right. So when you told the jury a moment ago that you told Detectives Gaither and Dennis what you did because you knew that Garlington had told them something,
I
Did I-
told you that already though before.
I understand. When you said that, do you know or did you believe that Garlington had said you shot up somebody's house?
He told me that he said I did.
Okay. Garlington, the one that you've been friends with for 20 years?
No.
All right. Did he tell you why he would say that?
I ain't asking. I just laughed.
Oh, you did? Okay. Okay. So if you believe that Garlington told them that you did it, why did you deny doing it initially?
Cause you're supposed to deny it.
Okay. Did you tell Detectives Gaither and Dennis what you believed that Garlington had told them?
Yes, I put a mixer to it though.
A what?
I twisted up a little.
What do you mean?
Shit, I added on what I wanted to add on.
What does that mean?
Try to make myself look innocent.
Okay, fair enough. So who else did you believe that Garlington had told shot up these people's houses?
What you mean?
Your Honor, that calls for hearsay.
I said,
You can,
I'll rephrase.
okay.
Who else did you tell detectives Gaither and Dennis shot up these homes on April 28th, 2015?
I don't remember. Like 9 years ago?
Did you tell them that Moontoon shot up the houses?
No. I told him Moonton was there. I never told him Moonton shot my house.
Okay. Did you believe that Garlington had already said something about Moontoon?
Yes.
Overruled.
All right. And you, Moontoon, and Garlington were all equally close to one another during this time?
No.
Okay. Then describe if you all weren't
Me and
equally.
Moonton closer.
You and Moonton were closer? And so when you believed that Garlington said Moonton did something, how did you confront him about it?
Who, Garlington?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Now, if Garlington said that you and Moonton shot up these houses, along with Garlington, was Garlington conveying something that actually had occurred?
Can you use a word I understand?
Which part didn't you understand?
Conveying.
Okay, thank you. Was he saying something that had actually happened?
Yes.
Okay. So then you just went in and told Gaither and Dennis what happened because you believed or knew that Garlington had already done it?
I knew, yes, I knew.
Okay. Now, did you ever tell Moonton that Garlington had told on him?
I think he knew already.
I'm asking you if you ever told Moonton that Garlington told on him.
No, I was just trying to like free Moonton.
Okay. Were you? Okay. Did you also tell Gaither and Dennis, or rather, let me ask you this. Did you try to tell them at first that you were not there?
Probably did. I don't remember. I think I did probably.
Do you remember they told you you were there? I have your phone records.
And then I think I told them that.
But yes or no, just that part first, okay? You can explain, I promise. Just, do you remember whether Gaither or Dennis told you, we know you were there because we got your phone records?
I think they did say that.
Okay. Now, did you want to say something else after that?
Yes, but when the phone came back, it went in my name, so they ain't have my phone name. And I already knew that.
Okay, what do you mean when the phone came back? It
When
wasn't in your name.
When they tried to see who name the phone was in.
Did they tell you they tried to see whose name the phone was in?
Huh?
Did they tell you that they tried to see whose name the phone was in?
I think my lawyer had already knew.
What,
Somebody told me.
did they tell you before that interview?
Yes, when I got locked up for the May the 6th, when I got caught with a gun, I think they had said in the open court.
Okay. Did you think that the phone being in someone else's name would make it harder for the police to find out it was you who had done the shooting?
They ain't find out because of the phone.
I understand, but you mentioned they found out it was in someone else's name, right?
Yes,
So did you think that would make it harder for them to learn it was you?
yes.
Okay. Whose name was the phone in?
I don't remember. I just know it wasn't in mine.
Okay. You know what?
No, it wasn't in my name.
All right. I don't want to know your mother's whole name. I just want to know what it begins with.
Okay.
Okay. And that phone that you had at that time, what were is it one that you still have now?
No,
All right. So is it okay to ask you about the whole number?
no, you can't.
Why?
Cause that's my mama number.
Okay. So it's still your mom's number?
Yes, it was never my phone.
Okay. Give me the last digit of your mama's number.
3.
All right. How long has your mom had that number?
About 20 years.
All right. And if I show you the first 6 numbers without publishing them of your mom's number, will you recognize it?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, I will, for purposes of this questioning, label this exhibit States 505 Yankee. And if anyone wants to see it, I will show it to them. Okay. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
All right. So approaching with the court's permission,
You mean,
approaching you with States 505 Yankee, okay? That's this. I don't want you to call out any of these numbers. Were those the first 6 digits of your mom's number?
Yes, y'all thought it was my number?
Let me ask you this.
Yes,
Were
sir,
those-
yes. Yes.
Okay. And is this the number that you believe that they had the records?
No,
So your mother's number that she's had for 20 years, now you're saying that's not the number that they had the records to?
no, that's not the number.
Okay. So whose number did they have the records to?
I told you a cell phone that belonged to me, but was in somebody else's name.
So it was your cell phone.
Not that phone right there.
I understand. But the cell phone they had the number to was your cell phone.
Yes.
And you no longer have that cell phone.
No.
Does your mother have that cell phone?
She got the number you just showed me.
I understand. Does your mother have the cell phone that belonged to you, but that was in someone else's name?
What the number? You show me the number.
You said your mother had one number, and this was it, right?
Can you show me the number so I can make sure?
I
That
can't.
that number right there, yes, that's her number.
Did she have any other, is this the one she had for 20 years?
She got 2 phones.
Oh, she got 2 phones.
Yeah.
The second phone, what number does it end?
I don't remember. It ain't on no more.
So nobody uses that number. Is that the number that you had that was in someone else's name?
No.
So let's stop talking about your mama's phones, okay? All right. So who had the phone? Whose name was the phone in that you had?
John Doe.
John Doe. Okay. So now, since nobody owns that number now, may I ask you the full number?
Yes.
All right. Did that number end in 5726?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Now, if the number was in the name John Doe, and the police had that number, do you have any personal knowledge of how they learned or found out you were the one using their phone?
No.
And I'm gonna show you what I have marked as Stacy Exhibit 506. And if anyone wants to see it, I'll let them see it. All right. I'm showing you 506, Shanky, and I'm asking you, is that the number that you had that was in the other?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the number is at the top line of 506, Yankee, is on the top line?
Yes.
All right. Were you, Demikion, and Motum the only people you told detectives Gaither and Dennis were in the car with you?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling them Shannon was in the car with you too?
If I did, I lied.
Okay, but do you remember telling them that?
Yes.
What good would it have done, or did it do you to tell them Shannon was in the car with you?
Because Garlison told him Montant was in the car.
So what does that have to do with Shannon?
That's his homeboy.
If Garlington told them Moulton was in the car, and you told them Moulton was in the car, why did you?
I told him Montant was in the car after I tried to free Montant.
It's your testimony that you said that Moulton was in the car only after you told them Shannon was in the car?
No, I had already knew. I was already know. I was a steps ahead of y'all already.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Would you tell the jury, are you saying that you told the police?
I told the police that Shannon was in the car because I was mad because Garlison said Montant was in the car.
Okay. And did you tell the police that Moulton was in the car before you told them Shannon was in the car?
How I supposed to know? 10 years ago. I don't remember.
You remember why you told them, you said.
Yes, but how I know what I said first?
Did you give them any details about what happened?
I think I told them what house we went to, yeah.
And did you tell them who it was that you were looking for at the house?
I don't remember if I did. You had to show me or something. I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember telling detectives Gaither and Dennis that you graduated
I ain't
from
never,
high school?
I ain't never say no nothing like that, man.
Okay, I'm asking you if you did or not. Do you remember giving them your mother's number?
When? In court, probably, yes.
No, in August, and thank you for making me clarify, in the August 2015 interview with Detective Gaither and Dennis, that you told the jury about her.
I ain't getting my mama number.
Okay. Do you remember giving them her name?
Yeah, I probably gave her name.
Okay. Do you remember them reading you your rights?
Yes.
Do you remember waiving your rights?
Yes.
And at the time that you spoke to them, had anybody forced you or threatened you to go down and make a statement?
No, my whole plan was to just go free Montant.
Did they ask you whether you could read and write English?
I don't know.
And did they tell you or ask you, what is the big rush? Why did you want us to come down and talk to you?
And what I say?
You gotta answer.
I don't know.
I'm gonna pause y'all for a minute. There's a juror that's feeling sick. Might be a couple of minutes. So let's pause. I don't quite know how long it's gonna be, so no, he doesn't need to. material witness warrant. Miss Love. We are currently in the midst of Mr. Zachary's testimony, but have not completed his testimony. And we've already heard, and his physical and medical condition seems to be fine. And I know that when one of the defense attorneys had mentioned the possibility of not being able to complete the testimony and that being problematic, we were contemplating whether that might happen because of his medical condition. But the state had requested a material witness warrant previously because there were concerns that Mr. Zachary wouldn't appear voluntarily. And I'm not quite sure what has suddenly assuaged the state's concerns in that regard, because if he doesn't end up coming back, then we're going to be in the same problematic boat we would have been in otherwise, just for a different reason. So I need some assurances that whatever the concerns were before have disappeared before I am going to release him from the material witness warrant. And there are, I mean, y'all can put him up in a hotel room where he's under the supervision of someone who is law enforcement.
So, Your Honor, the concern that we had was based on our interaction with one referenced family member
Mhm.
at the same time as Mr. Zachary.
All right.
And that family member has repeatedly and consistently made it clear that they had no intention of allowing us to have him testify.
Uh-huh.
And there is another family member, however, who seems to be slightly different. And I am as concerned as the court, and I want to make sure that we secure his testimony. So I am also aware that there are concerns, with his condition deteriorating and all of that at the jail and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there is concerns on our end with something happening while he's in a room with an investigator, not a medic or something like that. And they're not trained to, deal with that. But I am trying to combine.
Okay,
I
then
have just
put
sent-
up the witness and the family member whom you do not have concerns about, but who you were willing to put into Mr. Zachary into the care of, put them both up. And that way, it seems to all be taken care of.
And I will,
But, if we're just leaving it up to the family members to battle it out amongst themselves, whose position wins out, that doesn't seem like a very good plan. Okay.
Yes. So let me go try that.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of obvious. And I know that you are advocating that he be released home, but that doesn't seem like necessarily the best idea for even him, considering that if he's going to have family members on opposing sides of what should happen next, then that actually could be very stress inducing for him.
His sister is here, and I'd just like to put her under oath. She wants to be put under oath and have her testify where he's going to be.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to let that happen. And I appreciate that everybody has good intentions. And if his sister needs to be the caregiver over the weekend, and I'm sorry that we had to stop early, but we couldn't help it. There was a sick juror. Then,
Another issue, they may decide they want to have another lawyer because they're not happy with me after being here every day.
all right, well,
I mean,
you're Mr. Zachary's attorney, not his family's attorney. So it's up to Mr. Zachary.
well, it appears none of them are happy because it's taken so long. I'm not blaming anybody, and I've even been threatened with them taking out a warrant for kidnapping. I'm not worried about that against me. And so I'm a big boy, I can deal with it, but he's got to make a decision what he wants to do.
Okay,
That's where I am right now.
all right. You're not by chance the attorney referenced in the warrant who told him that he could, you are not by chance the attorney referenced in the affidavit in support of the warrant who allegedly advised him that he didn't have to abide by the subpoena, or the subpoena was no longer in effect, are you? And you don't have to answer that. But I certainly hope not, because I don't know where anybody would have gotten an idea that a subpoena to show up for this trial was somehow not valid just because the judge changed, but
I just, at 2 a.m. in the morning, Sunday morning, I found out about this. I think I've been in here one time.
all right, well, then that wasn't you.
It was an issue, and I came in here to support him.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't
All
know
right.
about it.
Okay. Well, that's good to know that you didn't give totally incorrect legal advice.
But I would respectfully submit if we're gonna, the DA is gonna have a conversation, you and I are gonna have, we need to have him out here because he's really upset about what's happening, where he wants to tell the court. Because I think that's only fair.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
We can get him out.
I'm checking with I'm checking with the people that can control that part on our end in terms of sitting at the location. I'm trying to affect what the court is asking.
Okay, well, I'm sure y'all will be able to do that. Y'all been able to do things like that for years. So, Mr. Zachary, I am sorry that we were not able to finish with your testimony today. We had, I mean, you saw the juror run out. And she had some sort of a sickness issue, and I think she threw up, and I mean, having just come from the hospital, you probably understand. But she's too sick to continue today. And so we're going to have to pick up on Monday. And so what I think would be the best thing to do in the meantime is over the weekend to just put you up in a hotel room somewhere. You can,
can't
I
go
know
home.
it's not awesome, but well, because there are certain members of your family who seem very determined to have you not finish
Like
testifying.
grown man, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And I don't want there to be kind of,
If I ain't want to testify, I would sit in jail. Jail ain't nothing to me.
I'm,
I
well,
did 19 years.
so you'd rather go to jail than a hotel
Oh, I'm
room?
ready to go home.
I know you are, I know. But we're gonna have you in a hotel room. You are welcome to have your mom or your sister there over the weekend. But I just think that it's better if it's a more controlled environment where your father is not going to be causing stress for any of y'all. Okay?
My father don't cause stress with me. He cause stress with them. He supposed to do
I
that.
know. Well, I don't know that, but if he causes stress with them, then that might cause stress to you. So,
They took my phones. Can you tell them to get my phones back?
which phones?
My
You just
phone?
for you to come testify?
I don't know. They took them.
Okay. Yeah, you,
No, the officer back there took them.
I mean,
I think when they took him in custody.
They took both my cell phones.
I mean, I don't really
They
have
ain't
a,
turn them into property.
I don't really have a problem with him having his phones. The issue is him showing up for court. So it's fine with me if he gets his phones back. So is there anything else you wanted to let the court know?
Yeah. I don't want that lawyer no more.
You don't want that lawyer.
Why you working
anymore.
for them?
All right, well, let me say this, when you come back on Monday, it may be that you
I don't need
want
no
a
lawyer.
lawyer, you don't feel like you need any kind of lawyer whatsoever. So what if things change on Monday?
I don't need no lawyer.
All right. Well, Mr. Scheid, thank you for your service.
Yes, ma'am. Good luck.
Anything else? Hang on. I'm asking actually Mr. Zachary right now. Mr. Zachary, is there anything else that you need to?
I can go now?
No, because what's going to happen is that somebody probably from the DA's office is going to escort you to whichever hotel this is they end up putting.
Can it be hard walking out the door?
Can it be what?
Oh, right there walking out the door.
I don't know whether it's going to be
Hold on.
that particular investigator or not.
She know it.
It might be, it might not be. It's not going to be up to me. All right, what else?
That's it.
Okay, so they will get you in not too much longer.
Okay.
All right. And we'll see you Monday.
Your Honor, at the risk of just generally being annoying, I would just ask that the witness and also both sides be instructed not to discuss the testimony
Okay,
over the weekend. I
Yeah.
think that's very important.
so don't discuss what you've talked about before or what you might talk about later with anybody over the weekend. Just keep it in your own head, okay? All right. Okay. So I know the state still needs to get the modification of the order together. Are there other things we can deal with right now? Make sure that whatever modified order you put together also includes release of his property back to him. Okay. All right, how about other issues? So would the plan be finish with Mr. Zachary on Monday, and then if he doesn't go through the whole day, pick back up with Mr. Sprinkle? Okay, and that certainly would take us through the full day, because okay. So all right, anything else, y'all, this afternoon?
Allow us to handle the matter that we're handling, and to deal with any other.
They can't hear you.
So unusual. Could the court allow us to handle any other matters on Monday? I'm just trying to get.
I know y'all need to get that done, but y'all have at least 3 and maybe 4. I'm not sure if Ms. Knight's an attorney or not. Attorneys at council table right now. So you ought to be able to delegate something to somebody else. So this was what, your number 60 that was today's? I can't even remember what that one was about. So. Give me a second. And had a chance to read it yet. So, Miss Love must want us to come in early on Monday instead of being back, staying here late on Friday. Alrighty. I would not actually, but that's not even when we have to argue on Monday. So, all right, we'll just do our regular old 8:45. So I will adjourn us for the day, but Miss Love, I'll stick around to sign that order, obviously. Thank you, Judge. Okay. Yeah.
Safety on our streets and justice in our courtrooms are under attack because of Kamala Harris's dangerous liberal values. She's tried to hide it, but Kamala helped fund a group that released assaulters, murderers, even a registered sex offender charged with terrorizing, threatening, and raping an 8-year-old girl.
My values have not changed. I know the importance of safety.
No, she doesn't. Kamala Harris, still dangerously liberal, still dangerous for America.
Not everyone's life runs in straight lines. At Sophia, we get that. Our flexible
Joke, no joke. I'll be live in a minute. Make sure y'all catch the new video at 6 o'clock. Peace.
Degree, then 3 above should be